Matzah, matzah, or matzah, Yiddish, matzo, Hebrew, matzah, plural matzo. Matzos of Ashkenazi Jewish dialect, is an unleavened flatbread that is part of Jewish cuisine and forms an integral element of the Passover festival, during which chametz, leaven and 5 grains that, per Jewish law, are self-leavening, is forbidden. Matzah can be either soft like a pita loaf or crispy. Only the crispy variety is produced commercially because soft matzah has a very short shelf life. Matzah meal is crispy matzah that has been ground to a flour-like consistency. Matzah meal is used to make matzah balls, the principal ingredient of matzah ball soup. Sephardic Jews typically cook with matzah itself rather than matzah meal. The flour may be whole grain or refined grain, but must be made from one of 5 grains: wheat, spelt, barley, rye, or oat. Some Sephardic communities allow matzah to be made with eggs and/or fruit juice to be used throughout the holiday. From the evening of the 14th day of the first month until the evening of the 21st day, you are to eat matzah. You are not to eat any chametz with it. For 7 days you are to eat with it matzah, the bread of affliction. For you came out of the land of Egypt in haste. Thus you will remember the day you left the land of Egypt as long as you live. There are numerous explanations behind the symbolism of matzah. One is historical. Passover is a commemoration of the Exodus from Egypt. The biblical narrative relates that the Israelites left Egypt in such haste they could not wait for their bread dough to rise. The bread, when baked, was matzah. Exodus chapter 12 verse 39. Thus it serves as a reminder to be humble, and to not forget what life was like in servitude. Also, leaven symbolizes corruption and pride as leaven puffs up. Eating the bread of affliction is both a lesson in humility and an act that enhances the appreciation of freedom. During the Seder, the third time the matzah is eaten, it is preceded with the Sephardic rite, Zecher LeKorban Pesach Hane'ekel al Hasava. This means, remembrance of the Passover offering, eaten while full. This last piece of the matzah eaten is called afikomen, and many explain it as a symbol of salvation in the future. At the Passover Seder, simple matzah made of flour and water is mandatory. Sephardic tradition additionally permits the inclusion of eggs in the recipe. The flour must be ground from one of the 5 grains specified in Jewish law for Passover matzah: wheat, barley, spelt, rye or oat. Per Ashkenazic tradition, matzah made with wine, fruit juice, onion, garlic, etc. Non-Passover matzah may be made with onion, garlic, poppy seed, etc. It can even be made from rice, maize, buckwheat and other non-traditional flours that can never be used for Passover matzah. Some manufacturers produce gluten-free matzah lookalike made from potato starch, tapioca, and other non-traditional flour to market to those who cannot safely eat gluten, such as those with celiac disease. The only one of the 5 grains that does not contain gluten is oat. But the resulting matzah would be gluten-free only if there were no cross-contamination with gluten-containing grains. In recent years, matzah manufacturers have begun producing gluten-free oat matzah certified kosher for Passover. Therefore, some have suggested baking matzah from a mixture of 90% rice flour and 10% wheat flour, for those who can handle eating the small amount of wheat in this mixture. For those who can eat no wheat, eating oat matzah at the Seder is still considered the best option. Matzah dough is quickly mixed and rolled out without an otoli step as used for leavened bread.